Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss the concept intrapreneurial strategy. After completing this concept, you will be able to understand who is an intrapreneur, what is meant by intrapreneurship, importance of intrapreneurship, and how to develop an intrapreneurial strategy. Clear? These four small concepts now we are going to discuss. Okay, the first one, who is an intrapreneur? Before going to discuss how to develop an intrapreneurial strategy, it is needed to discuss once who is an intrapreneur, intrapreneurship and importance. Okay, so who is an intrapreneur? A person with a large corporation who takes direct responsibility for turning an idea into a profitable finished products through assertive risk taking and innovation. Okay, a person within a large corporation who takes direct responsibility for turning an idea into profitable finished products. Okay, means a person who is given the freedom and resources to initiate projects or to develop the business. He is called intrapreneur. Who is given the freedom, who has right to develop the organization, who has right to initiate, who has right to complete the project with his own innovative ideas. He is called intrapreneur. Okay, so what is meant by intrapreneurship? Intrapreneurship, it is nothing but the act of behaving like an entrepreneur while working within a large organization. The act of behaving like an entrepreneur while working within a large organization means intrapreneur's activity, intrapreneur's behavior in an organization is called intrapreneurship. Intrapreneur's activity, intrapreneur's behavior in the organization is called intrapreneurship. Okay, so intrapreneurship, it has the term intrapreneurship has so and so names. Intrapreneurship is also called corporate entrepreneurship, corporate venturing, intrapreneuring, international corporate entrepreneurship, international entrepreneurship and employee entrepreneurship. It has all these names, intrapreneurship. So the person who does entrepreneurial work within an organization is an intrapreneur, and the process by which he effects change is intrapreneurship. Clear, students? The person who does entrepreneurial work within an organization is intrapreneur. The process by the process by which he effects change is intrapreneurship. Okay, next, why is intrapreneurship important? Importance of intrapreneurship. Why is intrapreneurship important? First of all, is it important, intrapreneurship? Entrepreneurship within organization is intrapreneurship. Is it important? Very, very important. In the present competitive environment, it is very important, intrapreneurship. Entrepreneurial activities in the organization, very important. Intrapreneurship is beneficial for both intrapreneur and organization. Okay, so innovative changes possible in the organization due to intrapreneurship. Workers' efficiency will increase, company profitability will increase, costs will reduce due to intrapreneurship. Intrapreneurship help organizations to generate new business. Intrapreneurship provides an environment to support and sustain innovation over time. And intrapreneurship is one of the best way to attract and retain most entrepreneurial leaders. Intrapreneurship enables organizations to effectively accelerate and manage change. Entrepreneurs can get more salaries due to intrapreneurship. Entrepreneurs' knowledge will increase due to intrapreneurship. Entrepreneur can act as a leader. He can get name and fame, more goodwill. So and so advantages are there for intrapreneurship. Okay, both entrepreneur and enterprise can get benefits. Okay, can get benefits from intrapreneurship, but it is not easy to implement intrapreneurship in an organization. Number of hurdles are there, obstacles are there. We have discussed in our previous topic. It is not easy to implement entrepreneurial activities in the organization. So number of obstacles are there. So managers may resist change, workers may resist to take charge. Okay, lack of training, lack of infrastructure, lack of motivation to workers, okay, and lack of recognition to the workers, etc. Obstacles are there, hurdles are there. But if organization follows a systematic procedure, it will be easy to implement intrapreneurship. Intrapreneurship is very important. But it is not easy to implement intrapreneurial activities in the organization. But if we follow a systematic procedure, companies follow systematic procedure, then it will be easy. If they prepare a very good strategy for intrapreneurship, then it will be easy to implement intrapreneurial activities in the organization. Students, now we are going to discuss how to develop intrapreneurial strategy. Planning strategy is nothing but planning. Planning helps to make an organization success. How to develop intrapreneurial strategy? See here. This is development of intrapreneurial strategy. Okay, there are 5 critical steps that comprise intrapreneurship strategy itself. Okay, this is these 5 stages: developing the vision, encouraging innovation, structuring for an entrepreneurial climate, developing individual managers for entrepreneurship, developing innovative teams, developing items. These are the 5 stages to develop intrapreneurial strategy. Okay, listen one by one. The first one, developing the vision. Okay, the first step in intrapreneurial strategy is developing the vision. So first of all, what is meant by vision? Vision reveals the basic purpose what an organization wants to become. It reveals the basic purpose what an organization wants to become. In the first stage of intrapreneurial strategy, corporate leaders determine the vision. Corporate leaders first they should determine the vision, and they should communicate their vision, company vision, to the workers. It is very important. First of all, they should determine the vision. After that, they should communicate a company vision to the workers. Otherwise, they may keep on guessing. Their guessing may be wrong. It leads, lost the company, lost the owner. Finally, it leads to wind up the business. So, corporate leaders must share their vision to the workers. They must share their vision to the workers. Based on the vision, managers and workers build their own strategies to achieve the goal. Okay, so shared vision is a critical element for a strategy that seeks high achievement. Okay, so this is the first step in entrepreneurial strategy. Developing the vision, determine the vision, share the vision to the workers. Okay, then the workers and managers, they can build their own strategies to achieve the goal. This is the first one. Next, second step in the entrepreneurial strategy is encouraging innovation. Okay, innovation, this is very important. Innovation is the specific tool of the entrepreneur. This is the basic for entrepreneur innovation. So large organizations must understand. They must understand and develop innovation as the key element in their strategy. Because without innovativeness, workers can't create new. They can't develop new. Okay, innovation, very, very important. There are two types of innovations. Radical innovation and incremental innovation. Okay, so radical innovation is finding an entirely new way of doing something. Finding an entirely new way of doing something means introduce a whole new set of performance features. Here we can take examples: Netflix, Apple, John Deere tractor company. Okay, we can take example Lamborghini. So all these are the examples for radical innovation. What is meant by radical innovation? Radical innovation is introduce a whole new set of performance features. Finding an entirely new way of doing something. Okay, next one, incremental innovation. What is meant by incremental innovation? Incremental innovation means improvement in an existing thing. But in incremental innovation is an improvement in an existing thing. For example, this is product improvement, process improvement, service improvement, etc. Both type of innovations, radical innovation and incremental innovation, requires vision and support. This support takes different steps, okay, for effective development. In the second stage, the first stage developing the vision. In the second stage, top managers of the company develop and educate employees to participate in innovative programs. First, they should determine the vision, they should share the vision to the workers. In the second stage, top management of the company develop and educate employees to participate in innovative programs. Two types of innovations are there: radical innovation and incremental innovation. Okay, then next step in entrepreneurial strategy is structuring for an entrepreneurial climate. Okay, without healthy environment, suitable environment, workers can't think new. They can't create new. Is it right or not? If they want to create new, the suitable environment very important. Without healthy environment, without suitable environment, workers, they can't create new, they can't think new. In the third stage, managers of entrepreneurial employees must provide suitable environment to innovation. So whatever the which type of environment workers need to think new. That pleasant environment they should create in the third stage. Okay, and top managers should know workers are willing or not for entrepreneurship. Clear, students? In the third stage, second stage encourage the innovation. After that, in the third stage, managers of entrepreneurial employees must provide suitable environment, and they should ask the workers, are you willing or not for entrepreneurship? This is the third stage. Next process, next step in entrepreneurial strategy is developing individuals managers for entrepreneurship. After providing, third stage, they should provide suitable working environment. After providing suitable environment to the workers for their innovative ideas, managers should motivate the workers. They should create interest in the workers to participate in innovative programs. Okay, and managers should know the importance, not only workers, managers also should know the importance of innovation. Research has given some suggestions to the corporate managers to motivate the employees for innovativeness. What are the suggestions? So management support, autonomy, rewards and reinforcement, time availability, organizational boundaries. These are the 5 sessions. Listen one by one. First one, management support. Managers are the key persons, executives. They play an important, vital role in the organization. Only with their support, manager support, workers can move forward. So managers should give full support to the workers. They should provide sufficient financial resources to the workers to participate in innovative programs. This is very important. Even though workers have more creativity, without the support of management, they can't implement. So managers, first of all, they should give their full support to the workers. They should provide financial resources, sufficient financial resources to the workers. Okay, and the next one, autonomy. So number of talent, it is correct to say number of talented persons are there even in workers. They have been trained to prove their talents. So managers should allow employees to make decisions about their work. Managers should allow employees to make decisions about their work process and should avoid criticizing them for making mistakes when innovation. Managers they should assign tasks. They should give complete freedom to the workers. First, they should assign tasks to the workers. They should not involve each and every activity. They should give complete freedom to the workers to complete their given tasks. Okay, managers should not involve each and every activity of the workers. When they give freedom, then only they can disclose their creativity. So research said that managers should give autonomy to the workers to complete their task. This is the point, autonomy. And next one, rewards and reinforcement. The rewards and reinforcement enhance the motivation of individuals to engage in innovative behavior. Managers should give additional benefits and power to the workers who are participating in innovative programs. Then workers will be motivated, and other workers also take inspiration to participate in innovative programs. Workers, the person who are taking initiative to participate in innovative programs, he will be motivated, and other workers also motivated, they can take inspiration to participate in innovative programs. So this is rewards and reinforcement. They should give some additional work benefits and incentives to the workers, those who are participating in innovative programs. Okay, and the next one, time availability. The encouragement of new and innovative ideas requires the individuals have time to incubate ideas. Within short duration, they can't think new, they can't create new ideas, innovative ideas. Without sufficient time, workers can't think new. They can't create new products, new processes, new designs. So managers should give sufficient time to the workers to incubate innovative ideas. Okay, this is very important. Time availability. And next one, organizational boundaries. Managers must encourage the workers to look at the organization from a broad perspective, and organizations should avoid having standard operating procedures for all major parts of jobs, and should reduce dependence on narrow jobs and rigid performance standards. In short, I can say organizations can encourage innovation by lay down controls and changing the traditional bureaucratic structure. This is organizational boundaries. Organizations must be flexible. They should not be static. Organizations can encourage innovation by lay down controls and changing the traditional bureaucratic structures. Means they should give complete freedom to the workers. They should not control each and every activity of the workers. This is all. These are the sessions given by research to the managers for motivating the employees. Okay, and the next one, developing innovative developing innovative teams. Okay, fine. This is the last step in developing an entrepreneurial strategy. Finally, organizations should maintain teams. This is very important. Organizations should maintain teams. They should assign work to team members. If it maintains teams, small teams, from each team it can get one idea. Is it right or not? If it assign a particular task to all the members, they can get only one innovative idea. If they maintain small teams, they can get a number of innovative ideas. These ideas help for developing the venture. So it is very important to develop innovative ideas. Organizations, they should maintain teams. Okay, these are the 5 stages to an entrepreneurial strategy. Okay, first stage, they should determine the goal and they should share the vision to the employees. They should determine the vision, and corporate leaders, they should share their vision to the employees, and they should this is encourage innovation. They should motivate the workers. In the second stage, managers should motivate the workers, and they should know workers are willing or not. If they are not willing, they should motivate the workers to participate in innovative programs. 2 types of innovations are there: radical innovation and incremental innovation. In radical innovation, they are finding an entirely new way of doing something. Incremental innovation, improvement in an existing thing. Then in the third stage, company managers, they should provide a suitable working environment to the workers to create new, to think new. After that, the developing individual. Without the, even though workers have more innovativeness, without the help of managers, they can't implement their innovative ideas. So managers also must give full support to the workers to implement their innovative plans. And finally, it is very important, organizations, they should maintain teams, innovative teams. Then they can get a number of innovative ideas. Their innovative ideas helps the organization to achieve their goal, vision, overall organizational goal. These are the 5 stages of developing an entrepreneurial strategy. Clear, students? Next one, role of social entrepreneurship in creating shared value. For this small topic, we shall discuss, okay, who is entrepreneur and what is meant by entrepreneurship, what is a social entrepreneur, okay, and social entrepreneurship, and what is meant by shared value. All these small concepts we are going to discuss. Okay, already so most of the topics we have discussed in our previous classes. Just listen. Okay, first of all, entrepreneur. So who is an entrepreneur? The person who does entrepreneurial work within an organization. Who is entrepreneur? The person who does entrepreneurial work within an organization is called entrepreneur. The process by which he effects change is entrepreneurship. Who is a social entrepreneur? Who is social entrepreneur? Okay, social entrepreneur is an entrepreneurial employee who develops a profitable new product, service or business model that creates value for social and his company. Listen once again. Who is a social entrepreneur? Students, we have discussed in our previous classes social entrepreneur. Who is social entrepreneur? The person who gives first priority, who gives preference to find the social problems and to solve the social problems, not for earning money. He is called social entrepreneur. Who is a social entrepreneur? A social entrepreneur is an entrepreneurial employee who develops a profitable new product, service or business model that creates value for society and his community and his company. Value for society and his company. Okay, means social entrepreneur gives equal priority for both company earnings and to solve society problems. As the name mentioned, social. Okay, so social entrepreneur, he gives preference for both the company earnings and to solve the society problems, and he gives importance for environmental sustainability also. Okay, he is a social entrepreneur. And what is meant by social entrepreneurship? Social entrepreneurship is nothing but successful adoption of entrepreneurial attitudes and strategies inside of an organization. Successful adoption of entrepreneurial attitudes and strategies inside the organization for company development purpose and society problem solving purpose and for environmental sustainability. Okay, students, just listen. Slight difference is there between social entrepreneur and social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurs start their own separate company to create a social good, but social entrepreneurs start their own initiative within existing organization. Okay, this is the just slight difference. The person who does entrepreneurial work within an organization is an entrepreneur, and the process by which he effects change is entrepreneurship. Clear? Just I told to you, social entrepreneurs concentrate on 2 or 3 activities. Then they run the business. They concentrate 2 or 3 activities, then they run the business. So what are that activities? Profit making, public service, and environmental protection. So concentrate on 2 or 3 activities is called shared values. Okay, nowadays most of the companies are focusing on both profit making, social service, and environmental sustainability. This is shared values. Social entrepreneurship in creating shared values. Nowadays, most of the companies are focusing on both profit making and social service. Okay, students, see some of the examples. Number of examples are there. Just see these 3 or 4 examples. Adidas partnered with Grameen Bank to manufacture a low cost shoe for the poor in Bangladesh. And Dhaka Bank, Bangladesh, came up with solutions to attract new customers in rural communities that were actually teeming with business activity. And next, Western Union consolidated the money transfer process for NGOs, including a Syrian refugee camp in Turkey. And Kirin, Japan, worked to reduce drunk driving accidents, developed the world's first non-alcoholic beverage that tastes like beer. And so companies we can take as examples. Clear, students? This is the concept.